Origin Maine is one cool company, and if you didn't see my review of their Bison boots, which you can actually check out right here, what you need to know is that they take a very grassroots approach at bringing manufacturing back to the US, which has basically all but disappeared in the modern day. So they individually are making a difference, and so that began with a lot of their products that they had prior to things like boots and jeans, because the definition of an American company is sort of vague. Take the phone in my hand, for example. You know, this is a phone that's made by an American company, but it's actually made in China. Still an American company, but everything's being made in another country. So, you know, to see a company like Origin Maine, who's actually producing their textiles, who's actually making everything in-house, being truly an American company is important to people like me who live in the US. Now, I've said this time and time again, I really don't care where it's from, as long as the quality control is held to a high level. You can get great products from around the world. So just saying that something is American and then using that as a basis of it being a good quality product is absolute BS. So, you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. Luckily, everything that I've seen from them, and I know that they held themselves to a very high standard, has been very, very good, and these jeans are no different. So it began with their factory jean, which I had, and I've actually had these for a few months now, and then they just came out with their Delta 68 jean, which is something completely different. So it's actually sort of timely that this video comes out, because looking at them on the website, I had some questions over, you know, the differences between the two and which one would be the right choice for somebody. So I got my hands on some of the new Delta 68s, and I had their old factory denim. So this is going to be kind of a 2-for-1. I've now lived with the factory jeans for a while, and I really enjoyed them, so I have a lot of experience in those. I've been wearing these Delta 68s since I just got them about a week or two ago. I've been wearing them, and I have some thoughts on them. So I'm going to compare and contrast, but basically I'm going to try to provide you with the information that you need to make the right choice for yourself. Let's go over the construction. Both of these use 100% American cotton denim with some stretch. Now, the amount of stretch depends on the model. The factory jeans are less stretchy, but probably what you've come to expect when you think about stretch denim. The Delta 68 definitely pushes that boundary with being probably the stretchiest jeans I've ever felt. They're amazing. They both use rivets at stress points. Now, the fit on both of these is quite a bit different. The factory jean, it's sort of a straight, almost boot cut feel. I don't want to say boot cut because that brings back thoughts of the 90s, but it's more of a straight fit. Whereas the Delta 68 is definitely more of an athletic fit, bordering on slim fit. If you have big calves, you're definitely going to feel these wrapping around them. Some people like that, and especially with the stretch, the freedom of movement is not impeded, so they're actually very, very comfortable. Both of these use denim pocket bags, which is really interesting because most jeans or even work pants that you can buy, they'll use a much lighter weight fabric for their pocket bags, which means that you can bust through it a lot easier. This is definitely overbuilt using the denim for the pocket bags, but there's no doubt that you're not going to be able to wear through these bad boys. And they both feature these very unique back pockets, which they refer to as shark fin back pockets. What they're supposed to do is allow you to put things in your back pocket much easier. And actually, in practice, they work pretty well, but I'm going to go into more of that later on. Now, typically, jeans are meant to do one thing. They're either jeans that look good, but they really can't hold up to the rigors of a construction site, or they lean the other way, where they're a little bit more for work, you know, overbuilt, heavy duty, sometimes at the expense of looking good. I mean, a lot of the Carhartt stuff or Duluth or Dickies stuff, you know, they're definitely work pants. Then again, you look at some of the, you know, like Brave Star, you look at Mott and Bow, things like that, where they're really meant to look good first and foremost. Now, the interesting thing about the Origin jeans is they actually have a foot in both camps. So the factory jean definitely leans more work, although it's not as far towards work as some of the dedicated work jeans, although I still wouldn't think twice about going ahead and throwing them on and going to work for the day. You know, they'll definitely handle the rigors of a job site without a problem. They're thicker than the Delta 68s. They're somewhere between 12 to 14 ounces, I would say. A heavier weight denim. They're going to be good for the colder weather if you do want to wear them casually. They're not super duper heavy weight like 21, 25 ounce denim, but they're definitely substantial. And when you pick up the Delta 68s, they feel much lighter in comparison because they are. These are much more of an athletic type of jean. You could put these things on and do a full workout without a problem, seriously. The stretch on these things is unbelievable. I mean, I've heard of two-way stretch, four-way stretch. These are pushing the boundaries of all those things because they seem to stretch in unlimited directions. It's pretty amazing. However, I wouldn't wear the Delta 68s to work. You know, I think that the lighter denim would abrade much quicker, and that's just to be expected. You know, make it do what it's supposed to do. Now, if you've never worn a stretch pair of work pants, if you do work in a blue-collar industry where you're working with your hands, especially if you're climbing ladders or squatting down, kneeling down, you don't know what you're missing. They're awesome. Especially for me when I'm climbing up a ladder, you know, when you go and you bring your leg up, if it's a very stiff pair of denim or, you know, even cotton duck, whatever you're wearing, it tends to sort of rub up against your leg. And, you know, if you have leg hair, of course, you know, it starts to make it just very uncomfortable. So having that stretch, it allows you a freedom of movement that I never experienced before in a work pant. It's really pretty amazing. And it just makes your day much easier. You know, you go and you kneel down because you have to go and work on something down low, or squat down because you have to work on something that's at floor level, or like I said, climbing a ladder. It just allows you freedom of movement to do all those things. And to be honest, stretch is really something that is pretty modern and pretty new in the world of denim. I don't think that denim has truly embraced it, especially the hardcore denim heads out there. But its merits, they can't go ignored. They are extremely comfortable. And that's the wonderful thing, is you can put them on at the beginning of the day and almost not think about them until you take them off at night. And as I've mentioned many, many times in the past, what I look for in my day-to-day wear is something that just gets out of the way of my lifestyle. Lets me live the way I want to and not have to worry about what it is that I'm wearing. Of course, I want it to look good. I dress intentionally. But at the same time, I want to go ahead and do whatever I'm going to do without having to worry about being too fussy with my clothing. That's where my priorities lie, and these do that perfectly. Now, I thought it'd be kind of fun to show you where these fit in my wardrobe by showing you two other pairs of pants which fall sort of on either end of the spectrum from these Origin jeans. Now, the factory jean, we know it can do work, no problem. Those triple stitch seams, it's not going to blow apart. It's definitely a heavy-duty jean. But even further than that, you have things like the double front Carhartt Carpenter jeans. These are what I wear when I'm going to be cutting wood, when I'm going to be doing something where I really, you know, I'm going to be putting these things through the rigors of abrasion and cut resistance and all that stuff. These are hardcore work jeans. When it comes to the durability, these are a Freightliner. It puts, you know, safety and durability first, looks are second. Now, on the other side, we have the Delta 68, which falls a little bit closer to the casual jean, right? It's not quite meant for work the way that the factory jean is. Well, we have that, but on the other side of that, we have things like the Kato brand jeans, which are thinner, stretchy, very slim, but not exactly built to that quality. They don't have triple stitch seams and the rivets and all that stuff. Now, they're not really supposed to because, again, they're really not meant for work. But when it comes to the whole mindset of, again, having them just work for you no matter what you're doing, if I get caught going to work in the Delta 68s, it's not going to be a big problem. If I went and actually had to do some serious work in the Kato jeans, it probably wouldn't work out very well for the jeans. Now, one of the style cues of both of these jeans is those back pockets. And these are something that I think is a styling cue, but they were also originally meant to be functional. And I've seen, you know, slant back pockets on a couple of other pants before. 511 has a couple that are much more extreme. They're more of a 45, and they're actually not on denim at all. They're more on their like ripstop nylon type of stuff. But the idea is solid. The fact that you always have to sort of reach back like this, and your arm is at an angle going into that back pocket, which is straight cut at the top, like a bucket. And that's okay. I mean, we've all learned to deal with it for this long. But when you actually do have that little bit of a taper, it is nice to just accept whatever it is that you're going to put in the back. So if you put your phone back there, if you put a wallet or anything like that, handkerchief, it does seem like you can get into that back pocket a little bit easier. But on a style point, you could definitely see these from across the room and know that they're Origin jeans. And that's what's really interesting about them. They don't have to do any pocket bling or anything like that to really make them noticeable. Those back pockets are very recognizable. And that's what's interesting about this design, because the conception was function, making it actually work. But in the end, you have a style cue which makes them different from everything else. It's pretty cool. I also like the fact that even though they used rivets, they use these nice recessed rivets, so when you lean up against a car or something like that, you're not going to scratch up the paint job. They just make it a little bit easier to wear, and you don't have to worry about what you're leaning against. That is a big concern. I've had people leaning against my car, and you know, you kind of go, whoa, 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 hey, what are you doing? Now, not that these won't leave a mark, but when you have a typical rivet with that middle section that sticks straight up, you might as well just run a key down the damn thing. Now, the real reason to wear these jeans over other ones, it comes down to two things, because really blue jeans are blue jeans. You know, for most people, they're going to do the job. Whether they're Levi's, Wranglers, Origin, Brave Star, Naked and Famous, you choose the brand. They're all going to basically do the same thing. But there's two things that make these special. Number one, the fact that they are actually made with American-sourced materials by American people up in Maine, by a small company that is a very grassroots, like pull-up-your-bootstrap kind of company. Very cool people. And the fact that they are actually making a go of it. They're really legitimately invested in promoting American manufacturing. That may not mean something to people who live outside the US, and I don't expect it to. I'd imagine if you lived in Italy, you would support Italian-made products, because it actually affects people who you may know, your family, your friends. Of course, it makes sense to root for the home team. And so in that case, if you're an American, you should feel pretty good about buying these, because you're actually supporting your neighbors, your friends, and your family members. So that does count for something, especially if you are in America. The second thing is they really hit that nail on the head of getting out of the way of your lifestyle, which, as I mentioned, as a concept, is what I look for in a pair of pants or a pair of boots, anything that I'm wearing. The fact that I don't have to be too fussy about it. This shirt's a perfect example. It's a beautiful shirt put up by Dixon Rand, you know, made in the USA with these beautiful mother of pearl snaps. It's kind of a Western look, but I wouldn't want to work in it. There's no way that I would go work in this, because it's sort of a one-off limited edition thing. When I'm talking to you here, it's fine, but I wouldn't go to work in it. There's things that I wouldn't do. I would take it and change. Now, these pants, though, the Origin Maine pants, they don't do that. You could put them on, either one, whether it's the factory jean if you know you're going to be going to work or doing some more rugged things, or if more your style, then you could put those on, or even the Delta 68s, whichever you want. You could put those on in the morning, do whatever it is you do during the day, and then take them off at night. They'll never get in your way. And you won't have to worry about them being so expensive that you don't want to ruin them. They hit the price point pretty damn good. So if these were $220, well, you wouldn't want to ruin your expensive jeans. But the fact that these, they really hover more around the $125 mark, that's, you know, expensive enough that you're going to take care of them, but not so expensive that you have to treat them like they're made out of glass. And to me, that's the most important thing. You can wear them, you can live your life, and not have to worry. That is the real benefit of clothing like this. It looks good, it performs well. But more than anything, it is just the background to you living your life the way that you want to. Whether that's riding quads, riding a motorcycle, laying on the couch, or playing with your family, you know, whatever it is, all those things can be done in these jeans. That's what I look for. And maybe you too. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like these jeans, go and check them out. I will list and link them in the description below, as always. If you like what you see here, think about subscribing, giving a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Until next time, I'll catch you later.